Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while since I did a video, but I have added a few things to the fleet and changed a few things. So here we have the Haas. Originally had the Traxxas 2400 kV stupid motor in it with the giant ESC. I stuffed a little baby Spectrum with a 3200 kV in there as well, and then changed the tires out. We have the Speed Treads Vindicators, which I freaking love these things. I think they handle amazing. We also went and did something nuts. She's upside down, but there's a all metal digital servo, 35 kilograms. It comes out to be 77 pounds of force. It is absolutely insane. It has crazy amounts of grip through everything. And we'll move over here. We have our small short course truck. It's just that off-branded truck. It runs pretty damn good. There we go. There's the body for it. Now, those wheels on there are the same lugs as the Haas. So, you could actually take anything that would go on a Slash, a Haas, anything like that, and fit them on here. We actually had the body off. That's why it's raised up so high in the back. Because we actually had the rears with just the Haas tires. It does have solid axles. You got to be careful of overheating. But otherwise, it's good. Also, with the Haas, we changed it to a full Spectrum system. Put the Spectrum radio. No more of the Traxxas BS with the Traxxas link and it only working when you have it hooked on. It's none of that shit anymore. Haas's body is decently holding up. Still love that inner cage. Definitely holds it up well. The only spots that broke were right on the end of the cab and the bed. Obviously, that's where you're pushing it into the body, so you tend to crack it a little bit. But for a little comparison, this is the setup that was in the car for you guys to see. See how big the freaking motor is? It's absolutely massive. It's nearly the same size as my my 6S they have in the Typhon right now. I mean, this is nearly double the size of that one. Doesn't even need it. This thing never even gets hot. We may end up trying something with that motor eventually. So I took my 6S from the the T-Max that I had, and put it in here. And as you can see, it destroyed the teeth. It has so much power in this stupid truck that it even with the blown up fan that's in this ESC, still never gets hot. Run on 6S, headed at 96 miles an hour, and the freaking spur gear gave out, and this rear input gear that's in here is just absolutely destroyed, and I'm gonna guarantee the rear diff is destroyed as well. Body's still holding up great, no cracks. I bashed the shit out of my car. We have this small black slider. I believe you guys seen it on the channel before. This thing's been holding up amazing. I've jumped this thing a couple times. We've run it over. The only thing that broke on it is the wing. They're really, really cheap, thin wings, so I'm going to look at something else. And then, so to end this off, what I'm going to end up doing in the Typhon is I'm going to end up taking him and making him a full speed car. Probably end up removing the large tires, even though I love the feel of them. Maybe stay with the larger tires, but in something a little different. We're going to keep the Ghoul RC motor because it works great. I mean, I already got crazy amounts of speed out of it. But because of the way this 3S is set up, you're limited to how much you can put inside of this thing. But I mean, you can go pretty big. The only downfall is it gets so freaking hot because this thing doesn't breathe. So might be looking at an option for that. But the rear diff, we're going to do a helical cut gear, a 1337, which right now it has that plastic straight cut, whatever the hell you want to call it, stock gear like it always had, front and rear. So for that, I'm going to do helical cut front and rear. But in the rear, right now I have 1 million weight. I'm probably going to bump it up to 2.5 million and put something like 20 million in the front. And then that way it acts more like a locker. And then it locks the two diffs out, the front diff out, so that way it pulls instead of having all the power to it and pulling it and the tires expanding too much. And that's usually the problem with speedruns, is that front tires start to expand, so it lifts the front up a little bit, just enough so it catches air, and then it flips the car over. Or like with this one, the way it's set up, it's high when it starts, so when it gets going, it sinks itself into the freaking ground. Problem is right now is excuse me. Problem is right now is the front is actually sinking too much. I even put some really hard shocks on there and springs and tried different weight, and she's trying to eat the ground with the large tires on it. So I may have to do something like what Kevin Talbot did and put some blockouts. And he actually put metal sleeves right in between like the top of here and the spring itself as like a spacer. Instead of how we have these ring spacers here, he put an entire metal sleeve in here. So maybe I'll do something like that, and maybe that'll help it out a bunch. Give it a little more suspension feel, firmness, without the travel. Because I don't want to loosen the travel, because it's at like a perfect ride height for everything right now, but we're going to have some fun with it, see where we can go with it. I'm trying for 100 miles an hour, that's why I didn't post the 96. I just don't think it's worth putting 20 videos of that out there yet. If I hit 100, we'll start putting some videos of it out there. I don't know if it'll ever be a record, but in my opinion, that's a record in my opinion. It's a 3S car. Yeah, it's got 6S stuffed in it, but it's a 3S chassis with all 3S gear. If I hit 100 miles an hour, that's fucking crazy. So, I'm going to leave it off there. Appreciate you watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.